It's pole position then for Todd Ellis and Emmanuel Clement. They line up with Kershaw right there behind them, lining up alongside Schlosser. Benny Stroyer is there as well, and Markus Schlosser in the background there. He is. So second place, trailing by 4 points in the standings. And the first race here was unbelievably exciting. We're going to show you a short version of that before we get into the live action later in the day. Revs built as the lights went out, and it was a cracking start, but Benny Stroyer alongside Todd Ellis and Emmanuel Clement meant business, and that's exactly what he did. He swept out into the very first turn, taking the lead marginally, but going wide. Ellis ducked back underneath and resumed control at the front. Kershaw and Charlwood, the 29 Quattro Plant Yamaha duo, were in third ahead of Schlosser. Then there was a fantastic battle shaping up between Ted and Vincent Peugeot and Lucas Wiesen and Thomas Hoffer. Meanwhile, Kershaw and Charlwood hunting down Benny Stroyer, Kevin Kulch. Ahead of them, you can see Todd Ellis, and at this moment in time, the Gustol Yamaha of Schlosser and Fries was there in fourth, but look how close Peugeot and Wiesen were. Then came Rob Biggs and Max Vasseur. Kevin Cable, Charlie Richardson, 111, had an amazing start. They were so fast out of the trap. That momentum carried them through to a great finish, as you will see. Good racing all the way down the field. This circuit, out in the countryside, a massive fly splattered Schlosser's camera, and that was the end of the visibility from that particular angle. It didn't affect his racing, of course, but it might have affected your enjoyment. But I don't think so. Schlosser then closing on Kershaw. Kershaw dropping back slightly from Benny Stroyer. Underneath went the Gustol Yamaha of Schlosser and Fries, relegating Kershaw and Charlwood to fourth place in this magnificent countryside with elevation changes of over 102 metres from the highest point of the track to the lowest point of the track. Only the Ardennes, with its 4.37 mile spa circuit, can offer you that degree of variety. Up through Eau Rouge and out onto the top straight, the Camel Straight, before the right and left of Les Cours. But Peugeot going wide, that's Eau Rouge. That allowed Wiesen up to fifth. The number 41 Swiss crew, different livery this weekend. The familiar red and white being replaced by blue and white, but proudly carrying the Gustol colours, which basically positions them as teammates to Markus Schlosser and Marcel Fries. Ellis and Clement, though, supreme out in front, with Benny Stroyer, the 2015 world champion, leading Markus Schlosser, the 2021 world champion, with Steve Kershaw right in his tracks. Benny Stroyer, Kevin Kulch then. Underneath went Schlosser. Another notch on the bedpost for him, so he's up now to second place. And all he had to do was hunt down the race leaders. Well, was it going to happen? These were long races, 11 laps here over this, the longest circuit that the sidecars will visit in 2022. Still, Ted Peugeot with Lucas Wiesen. And these two were basically welded together throughout the whole race. That's how close they were. The 19-year-old 74 Peugeot with his father, Vincent, doing an absolutely sterling job. And of course, Vincent Peugeot, still a young man. Number 19, Marcus Schwegler, was being chased all the way by Vermeulen, the Dutchman, until that crew went out with front-end damage. They'd obviously been contacted.
Kershaw, very close, under second, 0.87 seconds.
Schlosser was closing. The battle for third place was still very much alive with Stroyer and Kulch. Kershaw, though, getting closer at this point. Moving in. Rob Biggs down there in 7th place, having a lonely race behind these guys, who were anything but lonely. Wiesen and Peugeot welded together, as I said earlier, throughout the whole race. There, Rob Biggs and Max Vasseur, his passenger for the weekend, who also did Le Mans with him. Rob Biggs, of course, teammate in the Santander team to Todd Ellis. Kevin Cable, Charlie Richardson acquitting themselves really, really well. And the rest of these guys coming through, Cedric and Arnaud Pierrat, they're the number 39 crew. Belgium on home territory. Looking then through the chicane with Todd Ellis heading for victory here. Checkered flag out, and it's a good victory for him in race 1. He was very, very pleased with that. Kershaw had a last gasp attempt and made it through on Benny Stroyer to claim the final podium place. So that was Kershaw's day, a weekend made complete before even race 2 got underway. Confirmation of that, it was 1.6 seconds Ellis beat Schlosser by, with Kershaw there, way back that battle, but only a second between him and Stroyer. Wiesen, Peugeot, that went all the way down to the wire for 5th place. Biggs there, Schwegler 11th, Vinet, Labai, Gallen, ever faithful, and Le Guen picking up the final point, the podium, and smiling faces all round. Race 2 coming to the line, the crowd full of expectation, because what they saw in race 1 had every possibility of building this into an even better affair. Lining up alongside then on the front row, Benny Stroyer, Kevin Kolsch. They must have been thrilled with their opening race, and Kershaw on the podium, of course he and Ryan Charwood would be delighted. Todd Ellis then on pole position, Kershaw on row 2 behind. You've got Wiesen and Peugeot, and there can Markus Schlosser and Marcel Fries go one better this time out. Crews leaving the grid, the grandstand's packed here at Spa, because coming up, the 24-hour race for solos. Right, heads went down, everybody off, red flag gone. Lights were on, lights were off, and another cracking start by Ellis. He and Benny Stroyer were neck and neck away off the line, but who gets it? It's Ellis just in front, going a bit wide. Benny Stroyer tucking up the inside. Side by side they go as they rock it down. This is a spectacular piece of action through here. Look at Schlosser, look at Kershaw. Ellis then up the inside again, nipping through to reassume control at the front. 25 points, I beg your pardon, in the opening race. But Benny Stroyer showed what he could do, and here he goes again. Stroyer then, and Kershaw having a look at Ellis. So suddenly, and Schlosser through. Goodness me, nip and tuck or what? Ellis back to 3rd, back on Kershaw. Sensational stuff here. And this is only round 3. Well, eat your heart out, you guys who are not here to be part of this action, because this is nothing short of fantastic. The reigning champion then in 2nd place. Benny Stroyer, Kevin Kolsch lead. There, Rob Biggs, Max Vasseur got a cracking start. Another flyer for Kevin Cable and Chaz Richardson on the L&W Contractors bike. What a sensational weekend those boys are having. Just great. The black leathers of Max Vasseur there. On board with Markus Schlosser. No fly on his camera this time. Hunting down then the race leader. He lost 5 points to Ellis that time. What does he want to do this time? Well, obviously, claw back that disadvantage. Schlosser, Marcel Fries. Very humid, very warm here. 10 right-handers, 9 lefts. elevation change, as I said earlier, of way over 100 metres. The scenery on board. Here goes Schlosser, moving out then to go past Benny Stroyer. Is Benny Stroyer going to keep it going through this chicane here? Well, that's it. Over the line they go. Schlosser in the lead. Ellis Clement down to third in the 16-point position, not where they want to be. The crowd, and there's an English-speaking commentator here, keeping them abreast of everything that's going on. The crowd absolutely loving it. This is a very good appetizer. And they love their sidecar racing here. Further down the order, lots of battles going on. No Tim Reeves, no Harry Payne. They are both on TT duty. Benny Stroyer then, determined to get on the podium. This time had it nipped from under his nose in race one. He's alongside the race leader, Benny Stroyer, Kevin Kolsch, but on the brakes, it's Schlosser. Schlosser then holding that advantage, but that R6 of Benny Stroyer's, the Bonova action bike, is very, very quick. And it's not just about slipstream. The Avon tyres doing a great job here. Track temperature quite high, blue skies as you can see, quite humid. Now look at the elevation drop away down the hill. The crews, without exception, adore this Francorchamps circuit. Stroyer, let's see how quick his bike is. We know Schlosser's is quick. Four of them, so close. This is unbelievable. World-class sidecar racing. Third in race one, Kershaw and Charlwood. Fourth at the moment, but they're eyeing up. Sierra's leaders. The Anglo-French pairing, Todd Ellis. Remember, this man has only been riding sidecars for 3 or more seasons. The COVID situation disrupted his learning curve somewhat. And he was tipped to be a champion one day. Well, I think that day might well be not too far away. He is riding with all the style, all the quality. He and his young French lady passenger is 25 years of age, and he is 27, and absolutely gelled. I've said before how it astonishes me how these young girls, slight build, have the stamina to run at this speed for this amount of laps. 11 laps round here, it's a long, long way. Over 50 miles of racing. Look at Kershaw. Kershaw then on the back of Benny Stroyer, Todd Ellis up to second place past the Bonova action Yamaha. Now Kershaw fancies a bit of this as well. Steve Kershaw, Ryan Charlwood right with it, so there are 2 battles going on here. Battle for the lead, battle for third. Whew, I've got to take some breath. Amazing, amazing stuff. What a tightly woven pigtail of Emmanuel Clement flapping in the wind here as Todd Ellis gets the hammer down with a very, very determined Markus Schlosser right behind. So this race goes on. Stroyer with Kershaw then now having gone past up to a bit of a slide there. The back end let go. That allowed Benny Stroyer. He saw that. He would have witnessed that and thought, oh, maybe the tyres are going off a bit here. Maybe I could get another notch. And he does. He's alongside. So here he goes. Benny Stroyer, Kevin Kolsch, sweeping past Kershaw and Charlwood. That little mistake, that threepenny bit action coming round the left-hander was all that Benny Stroyer needed for Kershaw to drop behind him. But it's not over yet. Kershaw now popping out again. What a terrific race this is. Kershaw now still in fourth, but Benny Stroyer determined not to lose out this time. At the front there, Todd Ellis, Emmanuel Clement. Is it too much to hope that they can bring this home to double victory here? That will be their first double in a World Championship. Well, it's just too much to hope for. But look at this, that great battle going on further down the order between the French and the Swiss. Still Rob Biggs, Max Vasseur, having a good 7th place here. Well, great, I mean, considering Rob Biggs has only dipped a toe in the water at World Championship racing. He's acquitting himself really well. 39 there, Cedric and Arnaud Pierrat, the Belgian locals. And they've acquitted themselves well. Schlosser then moving in on the back of Todd Ellis. Is it going to be a move on the inside at the right-hander? I think it might be. Ellis played him in his own game and ran in deep on the brakes. Too deep? I don't think so. The youngster doesn't make mistakes like that. Well, not too many of them anyway. Absolutely brilliant, brilliant stuff between these two crews. First and second in the title. Came here 4 points apart. Going into this race, they were 9 points apart. And there goes Schlosser. Schlosser then determined to claw back that lost advantage. Is it going to be honours even here? Todd Ellis, Emmanuel Clement there. Now down into second place. Benny Stroyer coming. So all the way down the field, these battles are raging. You could not have better conditions for racing. You could not have a more spectacular circuit. And the backdrop just sensational.
The slipstream is gone. Todd Ellis has
dropping down the hill, Schlosser with Ellis shadowing him now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 machine lengths here. Yamaha plays Yamaha. Gust Oil team plays Santander Salt team.
6 points, but the championship is still.
Lucas Wiesen in his blue and white livery, having got the better of young Ted Peugeot, who cooked his clutch on the line and has been nursing it through this race with a burnt clutch. So Peugeot slipping back just a little bit, but in 6th place and holding it. That's the main thing. On board with Peugeot now in 6th place. Ted and Vincent. Up the road, Lucas Wiesen and Thomas Hofer. But don't forget, he's bringing this home with a cooked clutch. Behind him, Rob Biggs and Max Vasseur in 7th. So it will be a 9-point finish for Biggs and Vasseur to back up the 9 points they picked up in race 1. First World Championship outing. If they finish like this, they'll go home with 18 points. Well, it's getting close now, deep into the race. Gust Oil Yamaha leads Santander Salt Yamaha, and Ellis has got to do it soon if he's going to do it at all. And the thing is, where will he choose? Will it be in the braking zone? Will it be drafting on speed? That's going to be a tough call, because we know the yellow and black Yamaha Schlosser is quick. Look at Emmanuel Clement, the way she works. 5th place here then for Lucas Wiesen, the young, likeable Swiss. He and Thomas Hofer, fellow countrymen, both Swiss. So long the Swiss were so very good at this. And they will be again. And indeed they are again, of course. The Gust Oil Yamaha with a smaller fly on the camera this time. Race leader then, Schlosser. Marcel Friesen through goes Todd Ellis. Todd Ellis, Emmanuel Clement. Well, he left it late. He left it really late. Swept through into the lead. So is the double on here for the number 6 Santander Salt pairing. Oh, what a race we've had. Nipping and tucking. I've lost count of the number of changes of position in the top 6. Race leaders then, Todd Ellis, Emmanuel Clement, into the closing stages of this final lap now here. Are they going to bring it home? Are they going to fend off the last ditch stand, which you just know it's going to come from Marco Schlosser? He'll throw everything at it going into the final turn. Benny Stroyer, Kevin Kolsch in 3rd place, 5th place for the Swiss boys, and it will be 4th for Kershaw and Charlwood. To back up the podium, they're Ted and Vincent Peugeot, bringing it home. A steady 6th for them. Very consistent. Let's hope they come on and do the rest of the rounds. They said to me in Le Mans they were running out of money Here comes the Castrol Yamaha. Oh, that could have cost him. The back end broke away there. That was his opportunity, and it's a done deal. Ellis and Clement get victory here, and that is what 0.3 of a second looks like. Third place for Manny Stroyer. What a battle. She's delighted. We're all delighted. And it's been a race and a half. Look at that. 3/10. Ellis, Schlosser, Stroyer completing the podium. Kershaw Charwood dropped back a little bit, but how consistent have they been this year? Veason, Peugeot, Biggs, Kevin Cable, Charlie Richardson. Hats off, gentlemen. Brilliant. Final point going to Galin and Bouchard.